Let's talk about fake seams. I'm knitting this sweater in the round, and this is the body. And what I have done here is added a fake seam. If you can see, this line of stitches right here looks a little bit elongated compared to the other stitches around it. And that's because I've added a seam on the right side and the left side. And this is a top-down sweater with a circular yoke. So I've just started the seam right here in the middle of the armhole cast on. And I've carried it all the way down. Now, why would you add a fake seam? In the knitting community, there is some disagreement, I guess, over the purpose of a fake seam. On one hand, some people say that it's completely aesthetic. In other words, it's just for looks and it doesn't provide any additional structure to a sweater. And then there's the other camp that says it definitely does provide structure to a sweater. What I have found when I knit in the round, for example, I knit a cabled sweater totally in the round, and it twisted. It kind of keeled to one side and it wanted to twist on itself, because when you think about it, you're just knitting a tube, and if you don't have anything in the middle that kind of breaks up the fabric as you're knitting it around and around in a tube, it will, in my case, it did twist to one side. Now, I am trying to think of ways to add a faux seam after the fact to that sweater, because I really like that cabled sweater, but because it twists like that, I really just never reach for it. On this sweater, I am adding in a faux seam here, and I'll show you how to do that, but it's really easy to do, and the only thing we need to do here is knit to where you want that faux seam to be. And if you remember, I said it was just in the middle of that armhole cast on where I began it. And the way it works is every other row we slip that faux seam. Just slip every other row, okay? So every other row you just slip that seam stitch, and then you keep going. I happen to be knitting stockinette stitch, so I will just be knitting, one row, just completely knitting all the stitches, and then the next row will be slipping that seam stitch on both sides. There's a seam on the left side and a seam on the right side of the body. And what that will do is prevent this, tube of yarn from twisting. So I think I definitely agree that it does provide structure to a sweater. And I can say that the sweater that I made that did not have this seam definitely was twisting to one side. And, you spend a lot of time knitting a sweater, you might as well make sure that you want to wear it, right? So that's it for today. I just wanted to show you a quick way to add a fake seam to sweaters that are knit in the round for anyone that's having trouble with the sweaters torquing, torquing and twisting because they were knit in the round. Thanks for watching.